All right, welcome back. eSIM Studios podcast live stream episode 101. Episode 101 today, Saturday afternoon. Glad everybody could join us today for a little short tech news. It's a little later in the day, so I do have stuff planned, but we will get a quick episode in. Nonetheless, we do have I got two main stories that we can talk about. Yesterday I said we were potentially going to talk about the future of Apple, where they're headed. Tim Cook is supposedly going to retire here pretty soon, and it will create big implications for Apple, right? But I don't have time for that today, so we will save that for another day. Look, he's not going to retire tomorrow, so I guess technically I have like a year to get to that story, but I would like to get to it sooner than later, just because it is very interesting, and just to tease it a little bit for the future. Look at what's coming out since his retirement has leaked. Now you have rumors of them coming out with a iPhone Slim and a iPhone Flip, right? And then yesterday we also hit on the news and the rumors that they're going to release a iPad foldable and MacBook foldable, right? So there's a lot of stuff, and it's not a coincidence that all this cool stuff for Apple is going to start to happening when he retires, right? It's not a coincidence, but we'll get into it maybe tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow, honestly. Maybe Monday, since Monday's a holiday. I will be going somewhere tomorrow afternoon, so we're going to do an early live stream tomorrow. Sunday, probably around noon. We'll get the live stream at noon Central Standard Time, and then Monday we'll be back to the normal afternoon time slot, right? Let me get. Let's see here. Let me put on some music real quick. Let me turn this down. I got one of these. These are supposed to be. I purchased these. These are supposed to be like royalty free. I mean, not royalty free. I purchased them to play, and then I got dinged for one of them the other day. So I gotta look into that. But hang on, give me a second. That one sounded like a good one. Let me turn it down now. All right, so let's see. So it looks like we have a fair amount of people in here. Okay. So as I turn this down a little bit more, join us. If you did not join us yesterday, every Friday we do giveaway Friday. And we gave away a ton of stuff yesterday. We did 2 Amazon gift cards. And we also gave away a case and a chat GPT enabled note taker, I guess you could call it that. So Friday is big giveaway days. So every Friday, again, well, I'm streaming across a bunch of platforms, right? Twitter, Instagram, more than a couple YouTube channels. If you want to win something, if you want to enter to win, you have to join us on Fridays on our eSIM Studios YouTube live stream, or I guess eSIM Studios YouTube chat, right? Because the way you enter is a hashtag, and then I come up with a certain hashtag. You enter it. It has to be in the eSIM Studios chat. It's just the way StreamYard conducts their giveaways. They are in the process of opening it up to like for somebody in my instance. I'm streaming across multiple platforms. They are working on implementing where everybody can get involved across all platforms. But at the moment, it's just from your main hub, your main platform you're streaming from, which would be our eSIM Studios YouTube channel. Which reminds me, before we get into the news, you could take us anywhere you go, right? You're on the go, you're going to hit the road for a little family. But they say this Memorial Day is going to be the busiest travel day in the history of the world. Maybe not the world, but for the United States. I think they said 44 million people are hitting the road this weekend. So if you're out there, maybe you're on the road already. You got notified that we are live. So please be safe. Don't look down. Just listen. If driving, and let's say you're already at your destination, but you're driving back to your home on Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning, and you're stuck in all that traffic, simply get on your podcast platform. So wherever you get your podcast from, just search eSIM Studios, and we will pop up. Got a lot of good content. Look, we're on episode number 101, and this is just a live stream. I have a bunch of cool stuff: reviews, unboxings, app reviews, case reviews. We got a lot of good stuff here. So this is just where I get to interact with you, the subscriber, the followers, and we get to talk about tech. But I also have plenty of content that I've uploaded in the past that, you know what, how many videos do I have? I think I have like 700. Let's see. $723 videos. Yo, that's a lot. Yeah, so you have a lot to choose from if you're interested in technology. Now look, if you're new to the channel, we cover everything under the sun when it comes to consumer electronics. We mainly cover mobile electronics, mobile technology, mainly phones. That's the focus point, but I do have mini PCs we do reviews on, done reviews on monitors. I have this here. Oh, sorry, I had to pull it out of the closet. Galaxy S9 Ultra tablet. I'm in the middle of reviewing this. So we cover everything in the consumer electronics world. We will be going to CES and recording our whole. We're gonna have a fun time there. I think my dad and I are going to go to Las Vegas for CES, and he's going to be my cameraman, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And probably not this next year, but the year following that, we're going to go to Barcelona, Spain for Mobile World Congress. And since we are starting to get more sponsorships, more items sent to us for reviews, more companies are starting to reach out, I will be going to some of these phone releases. Now, Samsung has not reached out yet. I'm sure they will soon. Apple, I doubt they'll reach out to me. They probably don't like me. But that's fine. And Google, which brings us to our first story. They invited me to last year's release, the Pixel 8 series. Love this phone. They did. They invited us to the release of this phone, the Pixel 8. I had no idea they were going to invite me, and I could make it. Obviously, it was very short notice. It was like within a few days. It was like I think a week. Airfare, hotel, all that on a few days' notice is insanely expensive. So now that I know that they're going to invite me, I'm assuming they're going to invite me this year. I'm going to make plans for mid to late October on my calendar. I don't know if it's going to be in LA in San Francisco or New York. However, that will be for the release of the Google Pixel 9 series. We do have, I think a majority of our subscribers are Pixel owners. like a number of them here in the chat. Carlos here, thank you for joining us today. Yes, me too. Appreciate it. Yes, Pixel 10, Daniel, appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, we gave a lot of stuff away yesterday. So, let's see how much value-wise, probably like $300. So, every Friday we'll have stuff for you though. Yeah, I thought you were gonna show up, but man, I was like, man, he's probably busy. It's no worries at all. So moving into the Pixel 9 and eventually Pixel 10, right? So I think what we're gonna do, or I guess what I'm gonna do as a channel, I'm gonna have to get this fold. I was just thinking, I'm gonna have to get this fold. Not a fan of the first one. We'll get into the Pixel 10. Carlos, hang on just a second. I'm gonna get the fold, Pixel Fold. Gotta get this new one. It looks bad. I don't really like the back camera, but the total redesign, it's gonna be badass. We're gonna get the Pro XL and the Pro. I don't think I'm gonna get the base 9 because look, that's what they're gonna do moving forward. It looks like Google with this whole A thing. I was thinking last night, it makes no sense why they're releasing this Pixel A series. Not only when they release it, in the literally smack dab in the half of their release schedule, doesn't make sense. And they're impeding on their base model already. So check this out. So I ordered today. I just ordered a Pixel 8. So we don't have, or I don't have a Pixel 8. I didn't really think to get it when they were released. But I was thinking I'm either going to get a Pixel 8a or Pixel 8. It doesn't, and I was literally like you or like anybody watching at home or wherever you are. Do I get the Pixel 8a or do I get the Pixel 8? It literally, I do not get it. I tried to make sense of it. I don't understand. But what they're doing is, I think they got caught in the middle of a transition year. So moving forward, they're going to merge the, I don't know if they're going to drop the A branding or if they're going to put the A brand in with the regular Pixel series. So let's just say this year, for example, if they are going to release a flagship series, a Fold, and then a base model. So even though they're not this year, right? So okay, I may be confusing things, but let's just say they're going to merge these. I believe we've seen on their roadmap in the past that I've shown, they're going to release one day every phone. So they're not going to have a big release with the flagships and then 6 months later an A series. They're going to eventually release all phones on one day, right? So their A series either could be the base model moving forward, so it wouldn't be a Pixel 9 and then 9 Pro XL or 9 Pro. It would be a Pixel 9a, then Pixel 9 Pro, and then Pixel 9 Pro XL. So I guess in the future it'd be Pixel 10 or 10a, Pixel 10 Pro, 10 Pro XL, 10 Fold, whatever you want to call it. So it just does not make any sense. And I think again they got caught in a transition year this year. But it doesn't. I got a Pixel 8 for $399, right? And the cheapest 8A I could find was, what was it, $450? So I basically saved $50 and technically have the more premium device, and it was cheaper than the A series. Now, when you go online, when you go on YouTube, and you do Pixel 8 versus Pixel 8a, what kind of bothers me, now I get it, but they're always comparing the brand new prices. So you'll have a brand new Pixel 8 versus, that's what, $600 versus the 8a. nobody takes in consideration you can buy these used. I mean, the one I got was open box, so it's not like, it's not jacked up or anything. But I got a open box Pixel 8 for $399 versus a Pixel 8a for, I don't know what to say, $450, something like that. So it just doesn't make sense, but they will correct it. So moving forward, Pixel 9 and into the Pixel 10 series. So as we all know, the Tensor chip that Google uses for the Pixel devices is basically an Exynos rebranded Samsung Exynos processor. Let's face it, it is, right? Yes, you can make arguments saying no, you can make numerous arguments, but it is a Exynos processor. Well, when Google split from Qualcomm, they signed a contract with Samsung to supply their CPUs. And like any contract, it has a length of service, and good news for me and you, the length of that contract ends the day after the Google Pixel 9 series is released, meaning this upcoming Pixel 9 series is going to be the very last CPU Google will get supplied from Samsung. Yes, that is good news. So if you're not familiar, Samsung it's kind of hit or miss with the Samsung Exynos CPUs. They've been plagued by some of them. Look, there's been one or two that have actually been really good, really good. But most of them, unfortunately, do have overheating issues, and are just not up to par when it comes to performance in comparison with other flagship CPUs. That's just a matter of fact. So it's a good thing Google's moving on. They've obviously known this is coming down the road, and like any company or any person that knows a change is coming down the road, they planned for it, right? They're planning for the future. And what they have up their sleeve, I think, should be something special. So we're going to kind of move forward. We're going to, even though the Pixel 9 is we're still 4 months away, something like that. We're going to jump forward, and let's put ourselves where we're at right now. Let's put ourselves, instead of May 25th, 2024, let's say it's May 25th, 2025, right? So let's jump ahead a year, moving into the Google Pixel 10 series. Very exciting. Now, very exciting, and I'm really excited for this release. But this time next year, I'm gonna be like a little kid in a candy store. I think Google has a rare opportunity that not many manufacturers get. You gotta fight, you gotta battle, you gotta scrap for any little piece of recognition, for any little good news report nowadays. I think Google has the door wide open for them to hit a home run ball out of the park with this new Pixel 10 series. I believe this is their opportunity. Again, wide open to not only make a statement with a strikingly good-looking design, but a top-notch, top-tier CPU. I'm talking, I don't expect it to... Look, and what do I mean by that? Let me pull up these stories. So what do I mean by that? So when you make a popular phone, right? Google already has a name recognition. They've had a number of good devices and good sales for the last, since the Pixel 6. Because everybody was excited about the 6, the new design. And then the 7 came along, and wow, it looked even better than the 6. Hell yeah. 8 came along. Damn, we got a flat screen again. What? Got to get that. And then the 9, man, that looks good. The flat sides, just, I mean, it is, whoa. I cannot believe that. And then if they can just, I don't want them to move on from this design. I think it's phenomenal, but what I do want them to do is knock it out of the park performance-wise. If you want to be mentioned up there, because that's how they're kind of seen right now. It's a beautiful phone, but it's nice. It does what you need to do, but it's just missing something to compete, to have bragging rights amongst the peers, amongst the users, amongst Android versus iPhone, or even Pixel versus Samsung, right? I mean, they're missing that one component. That's just the one thing that's missing. Like, everything else is looking great. Market share's up. The design, the looks keep on getting better and better. Sales projections every year a little higher and a little higher, but that's good, right? At least it's not going the opposite way. So everything, they're setting themselves up, right? For looking at the last 3 or 4 years, they're setting themselves up to knock this out of the park, but they absolutely cannot flop on this one. And what I mean by flop, we'll get into the report here, but what do I mean by flop? They cannot produce a CPU that overheats. They cannot produce a CPU that is like out of the ballpark of the top performers. A lot of baseball references here, but it doesn't have to beat the Apple's best Bionic chip that year. It doesn't have to beat the Snapdragon chip, but it needs to be close. It needs to be close. It needs to have strong performance. I mean, within like probably like 5%. It has to be right up there, because when you look at these projections, you're gonna want to have people. You're gonna want to have something strong. I know that they've said that it's not about performance, right? And I agree. But look, people like me and you that know obviously a little bit more about phones, CPUs, GPUs than the average person, we know benchmarks are not the end-all be-all when it comes to phones. But there's more average people out there than you and me, right? There's more people out there that's all that they look at is the benchmark scores. That's the flash. That's the bragging rights. Nobody's going to brag, well, my phone does machine learning better than yours. I mean, look, moving forward, I mean, that might be bragging right in the future with all this AI stuff, but people want to see horsepower. People want to see a Corvette or Ferrari. They want to see it go fast, right? You want to look at the specs. Now, this has got 655 horsepower, naturally aspirated. Oh, mine's got twin turbo, 748 horsepower. People want the numbers. People want the performance, even though you may not use it, right? So that's what I mean. And I think they're getting as much out, or I think they're falling back on. It's not about performance. It's not about benchmark numbers. I think they're falling back on that because they know Exynos is just not the chip that to brag about, right? It's just not. I know Google knows that they didn't get in this partnership with Samsung and expect to be right up there with Apple or with Qualcomm. They knew it wasn't gonna wow anybody on benchmark testing, so I think they just fall back and say this basically because they have to. Kind of not necessarily an excuse, but what else are you gonna say? Our CPUs suck. You're not gonna say that. But they gotta hit it out of the park. So let's see here. I got a number of stories. So let me open up a couple of them and we can see the details. Let's see here. There's this one. Let me go back. There's this one. Now is, I guess, basically when we got confirmation. So we've had a number of rumors, a number of leaks. We've known this for a while. And now it's confirmed. Now it is confirmed. Now, after this, after we look at this report, I also have something that I thought we did mention, or maybe Carlos or Daniel, maybe y'all brought this up. Maybe we did hit on it. Samsung possibly having a slim foldable in the works. And then well, I don't think we'll be able to hit on that today. All right, so check this out. So I got these two right here. Let's see. Yes, they do. And look, Samsung's there's a story here. Samsung, they've produced so many hit or miss chips. I don't know. You get word every now and then that they're producing a really, really good CPU for one of these, for their next upcoming Galaxy phones. And then we get it, like this one for the S24. I mean, it's actually pretty good. But it's hit or miss. The one before, it sucked. You know, like, and it's like every other year you don't know what you're getting with them. I have another report here saying Samsung is in development on an impressive new chip for Galaxy phones. It's a 2 nanometer CPU. I mean, that's I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But with this one right here. There we go. So now we've had rumors, right? We've known this for probably 5 or 6 months. Well, I guess we've known that for longer because their contract was up with Samsung after this Pixel 9 series, and they haven't renewed their contract, right? So it's like, well, what are y'all going to do? So we've kind of known this was going to happen. Insiders, people that work at Google have kind of hinted at this. And now it's, I guess, technically official because now in the TSMC is the world's largest, maybe production-wise, right? How many chips they push out every year? CPU manufacturer, right? So they'll actually put the CPUs together. So they produce CPUs for Apple for their Bionic CPU, and then they also produce CPUs for Qualcomm Qualcomm Snapdragon CPUs. Now, Apple independently, Qualcomm independently, they have engineers that actually will piece and source they don't source the parts. They'll actually design this in their R&D department. And then what they do is they take their design, all right, and then they give their design to TSMC. TSMC, I believe it's the Taiwanese Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation. They will get the design from Apple, they'll get the design from Qualcomm, and they'll get their design from Google, and they'll actually put that design together in the physical form. Like, they'll actually put the little pieces together and put the little chips together and manufacture the CPU. They have it down to a science. It's probably one of the hardest, most lucrative manufacturing processes in the world. There's a couple that I could compare it to, but I don't think it's even comparable. The CPUs, especially moving forward, run everything, right? Phones, computers, cars nowadays, large manufacturing, machinery, components, everything, right? Even refrigerators, new refrigerators, washing machines, everything's running off of CPU, smart TV, smart monitor. They have a chip inside. So TSMC now has database listings for this Tensor chip. What do you know? So the what is this? The parts and the listings on their website is now available. So what does that mean? That means that it's actually an inventory part of TSMC's computer system, which means they're going to start sourcing it, and they are eventually going to start manufacturing this. Now, they source their parts just like any other big company, right? So they may put the chip together, the CPU together, but they have to get maybe a certain plastic or a certain heat sink from a company in Japan, or they may have to source its copper, a special kind of copper, from Australia, right? So that's basically what they're doing now, is they have the Tensor listing in their database, in the TSMC database for this Tensor G5 CPU. And now basically they're going to go source the parts, what they need, and it's a lot of stuff, what they need to put this chip all together. It's a long process, takes years to develop. Let's see what we can pull from this. Can I enlarge this? Let me open this in a new tab. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, I knew what you meant. They need a better chip to compete with see, I did it with Snapdragon and Apple. So let's see what we have here. Here's an official document, right? Leaked document from so this has been an internal document. Check this out. Since May 28th. Cargo information. So this is an actual shipment, I'm assuming, of parts or something, right? That will be used in manufacturing of this new chip. So you have the code, the part code, electronic integrated circuits, processors and controllers, whether or not combined with memories, converters, logic circuits, amplifiers, clocks, timing circuits, and other circuitry. Description of goods, just a bunch of gibberish. Let's see here. 1.16 millimeters, consignee information. Declaration consignee, Tensor Semiconductor Private Limited. Then you see the website tensor.com. Shipper information, Google. Contact details are generated. Okay, shipper Google LLC. Website google.com. So what is Tensor? Let's see. Let's find out. So this is to solve. I'm rejecting these cookies. So it's a semiconductor company, right? Let's see. What do they have? Oh wow. Okay, so that look, they make a little bit of everything. So analog signals. They do custom designs, physical designs, emulations, porting services, PCB design, product engine. So this is basically a company Google is working with in tandem with TSMC. I'm sure to either source the board. Maybe the copper, maybe the design, special, who knows, right? But what we do know is that, well, now we have confirmation that they are starting to source the parts, source the manufacturing needs to get this chip produced. But remember, we're still, a year and a half away. But these things take a long time to get ready. You got to do all this. And trust me, they've been working on this for another probably 2 or 3 years longer, right? Just the idea. We know, hey, our contract's going to end at the end of 2024. What do we need to do to get our own chip up and running by the Pixel 10 in 2025? They think of this stuff years ago. And all of this takes time to churn and to come to fruition for them. But again, I guess big news for us Pixel users. Good news, right? I don't want to see them going to, even though I really like this MediaTek CPU that I'm using in this Nothing Phone 2a. Who else could produce the CPU if Google was not going to do it on their own? They could either go back to Snapdragon. They could either go to MediaTek or stick with Samsung, right? So I guess you have 4 viable options. Produce it yourself, keep on using Samsung Exynos, go back to Snapdragon, or use MediaTek. And trust me, the number one, the one that makes the most sense, the one that will give them more flexibility over what they want to do with their own devices, producing your own CPU. Trust me, I guarantee you, Samsung wishes they didn't have to use Qualcomm. They're using them because they basically have to, right? So Samsung would absolutely love to use their Exynos processor around the globe, here in the US, everywhere. Right, it puts them up there with in the elks of Apple, right? With their, as much as I hate to say it, in the mobile phone world, the cream of the crop when it comes to sales, when it comes to manufacturing. It puts you up there, right? Samsung does not want to use Qualcomm for CPUs. You have to pay for leasing, you have to pay for trademarks, you have to pay for it's a partnership. But trust me, Samsung's paying Qualcomm to use the CPUs, not the other way around. Qualcomm's not paying Samsung to use the chips. It's the other way around. Samsung is paying Qualcomm and Snapdragon to use those chips. So very, very good news. I don't know if I think that was the only piece of information. Let's see here. Let's look at this. We got the chip name here, Laguna. What is this? Laguna. What is this? Laguna. So here's the chip's code name. Whoa. The Tensor G5 code name, Laguna. Here's the part number for the CPU, for the Tensor G5 CPU, G313-09488-00. The good types, it's a system on a chip. Laguna LGA. You have a revision, new product introduction, packaging tech, chip revision, tests passed by the chip. RAM size, manufacturing. Oh shit, look at this. We got some more news. 16 gigabytes of RAM. We all see that? RAM size and manufacturer, SEC, 16 gigabytes. Package height, 1.66 millimeters. Boy, I cannot wait for this. Oh man, wow. So they're gonna ball out and put 16 gigs of RAM in this thing. Whoa, that's big. That's really big. So they already have these chips. So look, I'm sure this is a early production unit. Like they haven't just stamped and pressed a million chips right now, and they're ready for the throw them in the Pixel 10. Now they probably produced 10,000 of them right now. Remember, a bunch of testing. So they have prototypes. They probably, like I said, produced 10, 20,000 of these chips. And they're going to throw them in some phones. They have prototype phones, mock-up phones that they're going to test this chip in. They're going to test the performance. They're going to test the modem. They're going to test the heat, if it heats up. And anything and everything you can think of, they're doing right now. So they want to make sure, remember, when you purchase it, and whether you pick it up in a store or you get it shipped to you, when you open that box, it's got to be perfect. So there is years and years and years of research, design, testing, revision, testing some more, revision, testing some more, and then production is the very last stage, right? But they've already got some of these stamped. They've already got some of these produced for testing. But that's big news right there. 16 gigabytes of RAM. Big time. I want to see what these benchmark scores are early testing. I don't think we have that yet. But look, it's probably not going to be long. I mean, it'll be early testing units, but it's not going to be. It can't be that much longer. Okay, let's see here. So we've known it was going to be named Laguna for a while now. Yes, okay, so what else? Yeah, so they're saying yes. They did not even mention 16 gigabytes of RAM. Oh yeah, here they go. It says the entry also mentions the chip has 16 gigs of RAM, manufactured by Samsung, which is normal. They do most RAM in mobile devices, whether it's Samsung or Apple or nothing or Pixel. This aligns with the leaks that the Pixel 9 Pro has an upgraded 16 gigs of RAM. Wow, so they're saying the Pro might have 16 gigs of RAM, which will presumably set the standard for the Pixel 10. Wow. Dissolve Semiconductor in India, right? We just checked that website out. They specialize in semiconductor solutions, including verification and testing. It's likely that Google's working with them to offload some of the work that was previously done by Samsung. While the Pixel 9 is not out yet, knowing that the 10 will use the TSMC chip makes us even more excited. Yeah. Pixels are great phones, but yeah, the writer of this is right. The Pixels are fantastic phones. In fact, I recommend them. Anybody that asks me, hey, I wanna try a new phone, what do you think I should get? I say Pixel. Just get a Pixel, right? Just get a Pixel. It's the phone to get. Now for the enthusiasts, I'm going with nothing. With the multitasker that's running a business or does a bunch of work online, I'm recommending the S24 Ultra with the S Pen. That's unbeatable. But for the average person, you cannot beat a Google Pixel device. Cannot. Now, what they're going to do with this 10 is they're going to put a turbocharger in this thing. At least I hope they are, and blast this Pixel line to the moon. It can compete. Well, wait, what am I talking about? It is right now better than the iPhone. So, but I'm saying in sales. Now, you may think I'm crazy, and maybe I am, but I'm not talking about next year in sales. I'm talking about in 5 years, in 10 years in sales, Pixel could, right? It's possible, right? It takes time. Again, I'm not saying next year, but it's possible. It really is that their sales just takes off. Let's see. And it has been taking off, right? The market share is gaining every year, but I'm thinking really, really take off. So I must have missed this 9 coming with. Maybe I did. Oh, so it'll be an upgraded. Well, who knows? We'll see. I may look into that, but good news for all the Pixel lovers out there. Just confirmation that they're hard at work at making us a badass phone. So I don't have time to get into. What was I going to talk about? Oh, the Samsung. You know what? Let's see what they're talking about real quick. I gotta run though. And tomorrow's live stream, I'm gonna do midday, probably around noon Central Standard Time. I gotta go somewhere tomorrow afternoon, so I won't be able to do live stream in the afternoon. It will be midday, but Monday we'll be back to our afternoon live stream. Samsung Fold 6 Slim likely to hit the shelves alongside the S25 series. Samsung is going to release a new foldable phone next to the S25 series, according to an analyst. That's interesting. It is expected to be called the Samsung Fold 6 Slim and will have a more prominent display, than the upcoming Z Fold 6. The foldable is believed to be priced similarly to the Z Fold 6 model. However, S Pen support is expected to be omitted. So it says Samsung's likely prepping for the next foldables. Shit, my bad. It says Samsung is expected to. Okay, yeah, so they're going to release the Fold 6 and Flip 6 here in what, a month and a half, 2 months? But there's rumors that they're going to release another variant of the Fold 6, right? The one that opens up like a book. A slim version a few months after that. Well, not a few. In January when the S25 series comes out. It says prominent display analyst Ross Young. There's display analysts out here. Prominent display Ross Young has shared some exciting details on X about all new Galaxy foldable smartphone likely to be dubbed Samsung Fold 6 Slim. It is believed to support a bigger display than the upcoming Z Fold 6 and should be priced similarly to it. However, there seems to be no S Pen input. I've seen on the Z Fold 5s. Probably because they're making it as slim as possible. In the S Pen, the layer of screen that they have to put in there to make it compatible, to make it recognize the pen, probably they're trying to cut width so much that they took out that layer under the display that recognizes the S Pen. Let's see what this tweet says. Hearing about a Samsung Fold 6 Slim, Q4 2024, bigger display than the Fold 6, price probably similar to the Fold 6, no pen input. So they're going to release the Fold 6, the Flip 6 here in July, right? I think it's July 6th, or I don't know, something like that, right before the Olympics here in 2 months. But then in December or January, 4 or 5 months later, they're going to introduce this model, which means it's probably not ready yet, but they don't want to wait till a whole nother year until the next line is released, the Fold 7, Flip 7. They would just want to release it as soon as possible, which is why they're having a abbreviated release schedule for this. Wow. Plus, Samsung's coming out with an all-new design for the S25 series. I wonder if this new Fold 6 Slim is going to have the same looks as the regular Fold 6, or looks a little different. New information from Young sounds interesting, especially amid the rumors of a cheaper, more expensive foldable phone. There have been whispers of a more premium Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra. God dang, man. Now, this is the regular Fold 6, not the Fold 6 Slim, but pretty damn slim in my opinion, and it looks really nice too. That's what I'm saying. I think this year is the first year that I might actually get a foldable, and I think I'm going to get the Pixel Fold, and I've never said that about any foldable in any year in the past. I love the flips. I love the Z Flip series. Never been interested in the folds until now. Now they look good. Now is how I would have designed them if I were making a foldable phone. It's kind of how they're doing it right now. Oh man, I know, that's what I was just thinking right now. Daniel says I'm so torn between the Pixel 9 and Pixel 9 Pro or a Fold 6 this year. I was thinking a Fold 6 or Pixel 9 Pro Fold, whatever the hell they're gonna name it. Pixel 9 Fold. I know. I'm like, damn, which one? I don't know. That's a tough decision. Oof. Man, oh man. Any other news? Ooh, man, this is. I'm telling you, the phone stuff, the phone technology, the phone competition. It's just about to heat up. Well, if we thought it was pretty hot and heavy now, you just wait. With all the stuff iPhone's going to come out with in these next couple of years, when Tim Cook steps down, the new CEO wants a new, refreshed, revitalized Apple. And they're going to bring it. So Samsung knows this. Google knows this. Google stepping their game up. Looks like Samsung doing the same thing. So it's going to get very, very interesting. I cannot wait to talk about that. And that's probably what we'll do tomorrow. We'll talk about the future, unless there's more news that comes out between now and then. But we'll talk about the future. I want to get into Apple too, because it's very interesting. These phone wars are going to start heating up really, really, really good here. So I got to run. It's pretty late here. So appreciate it. Hope y'all had a good Saturday. If you're driving, please drive safe. Enjoy the weekend, but please be safe. I'll see y'all tomorrow around noon Central Standard Time, and Monday we'll do our normal live stream. But I gotta run, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. I do appreciate it. Peace out.